Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. This week I'm talking about 3 shows. I had Friday night at Crusens, and Saturday I played at Cypress Grove Brewing in Assumption, Illinois, which is kind of a tiny town. And then Sunday I played an event at Rivian. So pretty busy weekend, and ultimately a lot of fun. A lot of these shows were great. The first night was Crusens in Peoria on Memorial Drive, because there's 2, I think, in Peoria. It was a good show. I got there a little bit late, struggling to set up. I was really conscious of the volume level, because I was really trying to, not blow people out of the water. So, I was very aware of that, and then it kind of came back to bite me later, because it was a really nice day out. So they have these garage doors kind of to get out to the beer garden, and they about 5 songs in, we're just like blasting music on the inside, and so it wasn't a huge deal. I mean, it just made me have to like focus extra hard, and couldn't really get in like the groove of things, and kind of put me off just a touch. But I went in and talked to them on my first break, and they just closed the doors, and it was fine. Wasn't a super packed house after that. I feel like I had that crowd in like the first 4 or 5 songs, which a couple originals and a few covers. And once that music hit, I think it just kind of put me in a funk, as far as, like I said, not really being in the zone necessarily. And but I mean, the rest of the night was pretty average. I couple people I knew came out, and got to play some older originals that I haven't played in a while. Kind of, I don't know, you just get in the swing of things of doing sets, and you're like, these are the songs that are, ones that are winners. And I'm trying out new covers, new originals, just to kind of see where they all fit in. But I don't know, it was so that part of it was fun. I did Howlin' Bones. That's really the song I'm talking about. I felt like it went really well, and that's what I closed with, and it felt really good to sing that song. So I'll probably start doing that more in my sets now. But the next day I played this tiny town called Assumption, which I think I was really in the country of the town, but I just didn't even see a town. So it was kind of on a farm. It was like a farmland that they turned into a brewery. So it seemed like there was a lot of stuff going on. They had me playing this little hangar/barn that they had in the back. And I don't know, it was like I don't know what you'd call it really. It had fabric. It was like a fabric covering, but it was like thick. It was like a big tent, I guess, honestly. But anyway, and I got there pretty early. It was an early show, 5 to 7:30 or 8. And I was very nervous because there was nobody there. It seemed like everybody left right as I was getting there. And I got there pretty early, and that was nice, because it gave me a time to really kind of set up the stage out there, and I felt like I got it to look pretty nice. And I started playing pretty much for one guy, and eventually some other people showed up, like 2 tables worth, maybe 3 by the end. But I mean, they weren't at the same time, like it was a very slow night. But the crowd the crowd was small, but it was pretty mighty. Like, they were really engaged with what I was doing, and I don't know, it was just a fun show. It was like, it took me a while to get comfortable, I'll say, because I was just like, I don't know what these people are making of me, if they think I'm any good. But by the end, they were so complimentary that, I felt like I could be myself, kind of, and play more originals. But turned out it was pretty fun. Like I said, I had the barn looking kind of cool, and it was just kind of an adventure. It's like a place I never played before. It was kind of, I think, by Decatur, which is a place I play pretty often. Actually, have my show tomorrow night is in Decatur, and I already rebooked with the guy there, and I'll be back in December, so that's cool. And I got a free shirt, which I like as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Cypress Grove. So yeah, it was fun. I wish there would have been a bit better turnout, but the people that were there were very generous, so it didn't really matter too much. As I'll say a million times and have said, playing for a small group of engaged people can be a lot better than playing for a giant group of people who are barely listening. So that one might have been the highlight of the weekend, because the next day over at Rivian. So this is a show I booked a while back, and got all the paperwork turned in, and not all the places really. None of the places I play really go hard on the paperwork, but they definitely do. And anyway, so it was outside, which was a really nice day. I actually I had to get up a little early because my brother Derek decided to surprise my mom for her birthday, which would have been Tuesday, and he just kind of showed up, and he's from all the way out in Tacoma, Washington, so I had to make the trip to see him and hang out and get of course a family picture and all that, and see my other brother Ryan and his wife Emily and all their kids, the now nieces and nephews. So eat a meal and all that, and then rushed over to Rivian and played that shit, like got all set up and everything. Something that was kind of cool about this one is they had, so the event was like a family, just a family night, and I was essentially just screening Black Panther, the original, on these big screens that they brought out. But the cool thing about that is they had a camera. They had a camera that would project whatever it was looking at to this screen. So when I was playing, which it didn't look very good necessarily, because I was like on just this parking lot grounds. It's not like I'm on a stage or anything. And then my normal setup, it's daylight, so there's nothing that cool there, and like light wise, and but they projected on those two big screens, and there was that was pretty neat. So that kind of made it a little more interesting, and Lo got some video of that, so that was cool. And so I don't know, I felt really uncomfortable for about the first half hour, and just early in the day, and at that point it kind of just felt like, was anybody even gonna come? Because it was early. The movie didn't start till 7, so maybe they didn't even know I was playing. But eventually, people showed up, and I got comfortable, and I feel like it sounded pretty good, and I played pretty well. And I was a little disappointed to not get some of the main songs I wanted to get in. I played some fun ones. I played like "Goodnight Chicago" by Rainbow Kitten Surprise, which is one of my faves lately, and "You Can Call Me Al" by Paul Simon, which is one I just learned, still kind of working out, and I stuck to my upbeat original songs. I didn't really play it because it was like family event, and I didn't jam too many of those down people's throats. It's like I just wanted to play like 6 or 7, and I think that's about, and it was only an hour and a half, really. I was supposed to play till 6:45, and then towards the end, or towards the 6:30, the lady, I guess, hadn't told me that she wanted me to stop. But it was funny because I had just started my medley of songs, so I'm playing like 10 songs in a row, and then I'm getting the signal that I need to cut it, so I eventually did. But I didn't get the memo very well, so it was like it was getting lipped, like I was trying to read lips while I was playing and singing. I just didn't do a good job, but it was fine. I just would have liked, there's a couple new ones I've been doing that I've been liking a lot, so I was trying to get there, but I just didn't. And it's just always a little weird for me to play like an hour and a half set, because it's like, what? It's like I should play all the good ones, right? But what about the new ones? What about the ones that I want to play? So, a 4-hour set, I can do it all. But in an hour and a half, then you got to start making some calls, and that's when, you run into missing a few staples, or missing a few that you really wanted to play. But I digress. So yeah, that was it. We ended up and went to see a band after, because it was early enough. There's this band called Jamestown Revival that was playing at the Castle, and we just went on a whim, and it was actually pretty cool. I hadn't been to the Castle in a long time, and since all original show. Both there was an opener and the main act. The opener was pretty cool. He was a pretty good singer, and it was just kind of funny playing a show, but like I did before, where I was like very background, very like people weren't expecting me to be playing music probably, and then going to a show at the Castle, and there'd just be a guy in an acoustic guitar, and has everybody's undivided attention. It's just such a... And it was a full room. I mean, it was... They didn't open the balcony, but, I mean, it was packed pretty good, and he was taking them through it, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, like, a little jealous of that, but, it's coming time, hopefully, but, yeah, he did a really good job, and the crowd was into it, and it seemed like it made his night that the crowd was into it, and I thought he did a real nice job. He kept hitting these chords, and he would keep singing, even though he was only strumming the one chord once, doing a one strum, and he would stay really tight in pitch, like, and then when the guitar would come back in, it was just like he wasn't needing like a relative note, and he was pretty belty too. Kind of sounded to me, and I only say this because I'm a fan of Marcus Mumford. His voice I like a lot, so that's what it reminded me of. It wasn't exactly the same by any means, but it kind of had that like rasp and beltiness that Marcus Mumford has. And then the Jamestown Revival, they had a cool setup. I mean, it was like they had a pedal slide guitar, a regular lead. One of the main singers played keyboard, and the other one played guitar, and they kind of switched those two, the main two guys, bass player and drummer, and just everybody there was very, very talented. And even just the singers, every song they sang almost was in complete harmony the whole time, which I thought was very cool and would be very tough to do. Like, I don't think I'm good enough to do that at all. But I will say, like, it would have been nice to kind of hear a little more, maybe a little dueling vocals, or maybe like one where one person starts it and the other person ends it. Just to hear that, because it's weird. It's like neither of them had very unique voices, I would say, and like you couldn't distinguish who was who almost, because it was. And I think they might be brothers. I don't know. They seemed like they looked a lot alike, and they just sang very, very good harmony. But it was interesting. It was like it was just nice to be at a show where people were, there to be there, if that makes sense. And everybody kind of had a common goal, and the band, I feel like, felt it, and I guess it had been postponed for like almost a month or something. But there were some definite cool moments. One of them was one of the brother, or the lead singer. I can't call him a backup singer, because they sing harmony like the whole time. One of the lead singers, or one of the harmony singers, I guess, he was playing slide guitar at one point, a resonator, and it was a really cool song. And there were a lot of cool moments. can't say that I could like hum a melody after going to see him, but it was pretty cool. And Lo kept saying that had an Allman Brothers feel, so like their instrumental did, but then it was like very pretty kind of harmony voices. So yeah, it was just kind of a nice way to end the evening, and very unexpected. And we saw, I think Wood Brothers are playing there, but pretty soon, which I would like. I just started doing a song they do. And then Bright Eyes, we might try to make the Bright Eyes in November. We'll see what happens, but that'd be cool. I'm a Bright Eyes fan for sure. I think he's really good and interesting. The guy, Connor Oberst, is a really good and interesting writer. So, yeah, that's what's been going on. Just got the 2 shows this week. I feel like things are slowing down a bit. I've been trying to set up a little run down to Nashville, but I haven't had much luck yet. Trying to organize a bunch of festival information so I can start to reach out with that pretty soon. I'm supposed to be in the studio this coming Monday, or maybe it's 2 Mondays, I can't really remember, or no, it's on a Sunday maybe, but one of these days coming up, and I'll hopefully have the State and Water thing done and get pretty much all of the Magic song done, and that'll be cool to have those to release and show people, and I don't know, I'm excited about that. And I think that's pretty much it. There might be something cool coming up, but I don't want to get too I don't want to say it and then it not work out, but just kind of music video wise, live video wise, so hoping that works out. But that's pretty much it. As always, I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good one. All right. Bye.